Hello survivors and welcome to today's Ark chat. So there's something we need to talk about, and that is the toxicity of the official servers for Fjordur. Now I don't know what you guys' experience is, but ours has been not so good, let's just say. I mean, if you follow this channel for a while, you'll know we've got very lucky with the servers we've been on. We have had comments of people saying how lovely the communities we've managed to be in. The servers we've found, the people that we have met have just been absolutely lovely. They've been helpful, they've been welcoming, and we've all got along really well for the most part. I mean, obviously when there's a new map release, there are sort of tribes sort of fighting to be the first one to tech and call themselves alpha. I know on PvE it still happens. But yeah, and then there's, you get people kiting and, all sorts of stuff. However, I have never experienced anything quite as bad as this map release. It has been horrendous. So the Dino Lord is in a few different groups as well with other breeders and stuff, and they're also experiencing the same issues as we are on our server. So I'll go over today a couple of things that I have personally experienced on our server, and I'd like to get some feedback in the comments and hear what your servers are like. Are they as bad as ours? So one thing that happened, a new player had joined the map. He was relatively new to the game in general, and he accidentally picked up someone's gacha crystal. Well, it all kicked off, didn't it? Somebody started calling him out in the chat, calling him a thief, and it turned into like some sort of a mob mentality. Everybody have a go at this guy, who I checked his profile and he hadn't played much Ark at all. I don't even think he knew what a gacha crystal was. He looked like he was just exploring the map and had just picked it up. So anyway, if that was me as a new player joining a game for the first time, I think I probably would have not played it anymore, to be honest with you, because I probably would have gone single player or something. But this guy luckily has stuck it out and stayed on the server. However, even days later, when he was doing trades with somebody on the server, this same person has come back up and started saying, don't do any dealings with him, he's a thief, and all sorts of stuff like that. So that was a bit rough. I didn't like that at all. But then there was, if you're playing on an official server, you will know, I'm sure, how hard it is sometimes to even log in. When you try and log in, you'll sometimes be caught in, like, either under the map or something, which happens on underneath your base, which happens on every server sometimes. But when you actually do manage to log in properly, then you can get up out of your bed, but then you can't actually access anything around you for ages. And then sometimes you can't access one thing, you run out the door, next minute you're not where you think you are and you've lagged back. So the servers are running so unstable that you'll get kicked sometimes as soon as you log in. And then you have trouble getting into the server because obviously you've got player already connected, and then you have to struggle to get back in. When you do get in, you sometimes get kicked again. And this person had been getting called a duper. They were saying that he had been duping, telling him to stay offline, don't bother coming back on because he was ruining the game for everyone, and acting basically as if they have more right to play the game than anybody else. And we actually experienced this ourselves then. Our tribe, one of our tribe mates, had this issue where he was trying to log in and wasn't able to at all, and it kept coming up obviously on the top of the screen saying that he had logged in and then he'd logged out and he'd left the server, he'd joined the server. And so this certain tribe started saying that he needed to, they were making fun of him, saying he needed, basically making out he needed a better internet connection, saying that he should park nearer the McDonald's to get better Wi-Fi, and then saying stop playing on an Xbox 360. So the rest of the tribe, we joined in and said, that's our tribe mate you're talking about, and he's playing actually on an Xbox Series X, so it's nothing to do with his Xbox. And then the Dino Lord actually said, like, guys, you need to take a break. And they said to him, you need to, and I'll put the screenshot here so you can see what they said to him. And then they also called him this, just for standing up for his tribe mate, because I was saying he was having trouble logging in, and then they started saying, well, if that's the case, then maybe he should stay logged out. And then apparently when we were offline, a couple of other tribe mates were actually still on. They were saying it was something to do with the size of our base, that it was trouble logging in because of the size of our base. So we did try a couple of things. So when I had trouble logging in, which happened actually not long after it happened to our tribe mate, and he said, "Oh, it's your turn now." And I'll be honest with you, I was so upset at the way they were behaving towards him that I didn't want to play anymore. I didn't want to log back in because I did not want to go through that abuse. I was shaking with anger and I was really upset, to be honest with you. So I had to go and take a little break for a little while because it was just got a bit too much for me. I didn't like the toxicity of the people on a PvE server behaving in this way when there is nothing we can do about it, really. But what we did to try and combat the whole base being too big to render in when you log in is the Dino Lord would come to where I was. He would, while I was logged off, he would kill me and then take my belongings so he could keep them safe. And then when I logged in, I spawned somewhere else. So like at one of our little 1x1 spawn boxes or something, or somewhere random on the map. So I chose to spawn in one of our spawn boxes. Same thing happened, got kicked again instantly. So, and also when we log on at 10 o'clock in the early morning, it's not early I suppose, but 10 o'clock in the morning in the UK, we have no trouble logging on at all. We just log in and we play. I mean, obviously you get the usual login lag where, you know, you can't access anything for a little while, but we don't get kicked instantly and have that constant loop of getting kicked, trying to log in, getting kicked. So it's clearly the server, when it's busier, is when there becomes issues, because we are not the only tribe that have had this happen to us. But we were getting called out saying it could be because of the size of our base. So we did test a few things out to check if that was the issue, and it doesn't seem to be at all. So it seems to be an actual issue with the servers themselves. They're so unstable at the moment, and with this game, it brings out a lot of the time the worst in people. Sometimes it can bring out the best in people, but a lot of times it does bring out the worst in people for some reason. And so with the servers being this unstable and everybody wanting to get stuff done, everyone's in a rush to get this done quickly, that done quickly, they want to make the most of the event. So everybody, their tensions are running high and people are just getting a bit rude. And then once they do, it seems to be, like I said earlier, this mob mentality. Everyone is, that they're egging for a witch hunt. I don't know what it is. I've never experienced, first of all, performance issues like this on a server. I mean, even with Gen 2 was pretty bad, and also Gen 1 was bad because everyone had to build in small areas all around each other, so the lag was really, really bad. But the rollbacks on these Fjordur servers, the lag, I mean, I'll be thinking I'm running somewhere, and then all of a sudden I've got like bleed as if I've fallen off something. And then sort of maybe 2 minutes later, because I'm running and I can't interact with anything where I am, after I've already been doing things like normal, and then all of a sudden I'm like off the bottom of a cliff somewhere that I didn't even know that I was, because the lag has just done that to me. Like, it's like a weird snap back, but it's hard to explain. But I'd like to know if you guys are experiencing this as well. So on the servers, we've also experienced people having a go at people for their country of birth, because they're chatting in a different language in chat, and it's really just not very pleasant at all, unfortunately. We've also had a tribe mate of ours was taming bats in the bat cave. Now, I had been in these bat caves, in the waterfall one particularly, for a few days. I'd been going back there a lot trying to find these bats, and they just weren't spawning. There was no bats ever, and I was getting so frustrated, and I said, I'm just going to give up. That's it, I'm done for now. So we had a couple of bats. One was really low level, but I mated those together. I just thought I'll just get a baby from those, and this was on 1x, and I was so frustrated that I couldn't get a bat in the cave that I thought I'll just mate these. So, because we did actually check out one of the other caves and there was none in there either. So anyway, someone comes up in the chat saying, Rogue Jedi, you need to stop taming all the bats. And I looked at the Dino Lord and I was like, why are they... I don't understand. I wish, like, you know, I haven't got any bats. And he was laughing about it, but then they were serious. And it turned out I'd been talking in the chat and they'd seen our tribe name, and our tribe mate Warren had actually been in one of the other caves taming bats, and he had found a place where he could tame them, unbeknownst to us, because we hadn't been discussing it with him. And he had been trying to find out the best way to tame them, so he'd been taking like Ravagers and Phiomias and sort of letting the bats feed off them in order to get a better taming effectiveness. And so, because that guy had seen his tribe name, and he's obviously, you know, associated it with my tribe name, he called me out in the chat for taming the bats when I hadn't been. So it was actually our tribe mate Warren that he was having a go at for taming all of the bats, apparently. And Warren was just like, well, I'm taming these bats right here, right now. Yeah, And so what the guy did, he said, you need to give me a high level bat. And it was like, well, no, we don't. And then he was saying it to me, and I was like, I don't have a high level bat for myself even, you know? So because Warren was taming bats in that cave and he wouldn't give him a bat, he proceeded to kill the bats that Warren was taming. It was rough. It was really, really rough. He just killed the bats he was taming, and he kept doing it for about 20 minutes just to spite him because he didn't have any bats. And these are just a few stories from our server and what we've gone through on here. So far, not so good. And having trouble staying logged in at the moment is a bit of an issue because you can't always get on first thing in the morning when it's quiet on there. So the evening times is usually where it gets really busy. Everybody's on, the server's lagging, and you can't really get much done, unfortunately. And also there is no wild dino spawns. So, I mean, they've said that they're going to be doing an update to sort this out, but that was like 2 days ago and we've not seen anything yet. So it's hard to sort of do meat runs, to tame any nice colours. There's been a lot of issues. And I mean, there always is when a map is released, but I've not experienced anything quite like this. But let me know in the comments, guys, how are you finding the server? Is your server running quite stable, or are you finding there's a lot of issues with lag and stuff and rollbacks and getting kicked? And also let us know if you're experiencing the toxicity levels that we are on our server. I mean, I hope you're not. I really hope you're not. I hate it when people are like this. I think it's terrible. I like everybody to have a nice time and get along. You will know, like I said earlier, if you've seen our other videos, we usually get on with everyone on server. We have a really nice time and we all help each other out. But yeah, it has unfortunately been a bit rough. So I just wanted to get that off my chest, and yeah, let's start a convo in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on, guys. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day and take care.